Hi. If you're watching this, something or someone has piqued your interest about witchcraft. Hi, I'm Appalachian Juju, and welcome. I am an ordained eclectic witch through United Life Church, and I've been a practitioner of witchcraft for the last 30-odd years. However, I only came out of the broom closet about a year or two ago, and it was honestly one of the best things I ever did for myself. Okay, but enough about me. Let's talk about witchcraft. Some people tend to use the term witchcraft or witch as like this blanket term to cover any type of practice involving elements other than those of the world's major religions. Maybe it's nature-focused practice that tends to worship the earth and its natural elements untarnished by mankind's influence or rules. There are those practicing the old pagan ways. They worship the Norse gods, or maybe develop a Celtic practice. Other pagan theology ranges from like the Roman god pantheon to Greek to Egyptian to West African traditions. There are many other different facets of past and current cultural influences who believe in some form of magic. Truthfully, that also includes Christianity. That's another topic for an entire series of videos, and it's been covered by a multitude of YouTubers already. A simple search for magic in the Bible pulls up a long list of videos, blogs, and websites. I particularly like YouTuber @MorgOfficial. His take on things are always presented with references to particular sources, and sometimes he adds a disclaimer that his interpretation is just that, an interpretation. He always encourages you to develop your own and not take his opinion as the end of the subject. And I adamantly agree, which brings me back to our topic. What is witchcraft? Now, if you're unfamiliar with any type of magic, metaphysical gifts, or beliefs, if you've not studied scientific theories about manifesting your own reality, the string theory, quantum physics, and the behavior of quarks, include with that the power of prayer. Praying isn't exclusive just to Christianity, mind you. Okay, all that, you have an intriguing path forward that can take years before you find your footing. One of the questions I get asked most often is, what type of witchcraft would you suggest I begin with? I usually encourage people to look into their ancestry. Discover where your ancestors originated from. I mean, way back, your great. Learn the pagan religions associated with the land throughout various time periods, and as your family migrated to current locations today. I was able to narrow the scope and trace further back utilizing different platforms that offer DNA testing. One gave access to records, both government and created, and individual records kept during eras when births and deaths were frequently recorded in the family Bible or through oral histories in the manner of family and community stories. Then you also have burnings of things during the Civil War. Once you've done this, see if any of it resonates with you. I had no idea how much root doctor information was passed down in my family, along with stories from those who could see haints and devils. I remember Tennessee whiskey with molasses and brown sugar, a squirt of lemon juice, calm coughs, warmed sweet oil for an earache with a little bit of cotton, or apple cider vinegar in a shot glass 3 times a day as a natural antibiotic. I remember herbal remedies and comfort foods. Haint blue was painted on porch ceilings or at the front door to protect the home from spirits. Ziploc bags of water tacked over the doorways to keep the flies out, because flies won't fly underwater. And my nanny telling me, don't raise your arms above your head when you're pregnant, because you could risk wrapping the cord around the baby's neck. At bedtime, slices of raw onion in your socks against the bottom of your feet were placed to draw out cold or flu. The old saying, we'll leave a light on for you, stems from the time it was thought a candle lit each night in the window could lead a lost loved one home, which is similar to the modern traditional use of a yellow ribbon tied around a tree to bring a soldier home. Now, what does all this have to do with witchcraft? Well, everything. A pagan practice can follow a structured format with specific instructions and rules, deities, and hierarchies of position within the order or coven. Or it can be entirely intuitive and completely constructed by you alone. I found it easier to start with research, learn the basics, build my own belief system, and practice from there. And don't be too quick to dismiss all elements of organized religions, both ancient and contemporary. There's always something to learn. You can take it with you to your own rituals and spells, your root doctrine, root working, and conjuring. Now, I personally have worked with Roman deities, Greek deities, elements of nature, my spirit guides, incorporating it with the traditional practices of the Appalachian Granny Witch and Conjure Man. So, while I may not have given you a concrete definition of what witchcraft is, I believe I've given you a good place to start the path of defining it for yourself. I hope you enjoyed the time you spent with me and have developed a tentative plan on where to start forming your own ideas on what it involves to be a witch. Be on the lookout for other videos that'll be on a myriad of different subjects in relation to witchcraft and other pagan practice times. Until then, I'm sending love and light to you in these trying times. Please share, like, subscribe, and I'd really love it if you'd comment any questions or thoughts on future subject matter below. Take care of each other. Try to stay out of the heat. Until next time, practice safe hex, y'all. Peace.